Good evening, everybody.
Welcome back to Competitive Speed Series.
The time has come for 5 red lights. 3 wide through turn 3. Oh, into the wall!
I knew this would happen. I knew they wanted to try something.
Yamar have gotten their wish. A 1-2 for the team. Another victory for VNT to put the cherry on top of their dominance. Hello, good evening and a warm welcome to you. Welcome back at long last to CSS, the competitive speed series. We have returned and with quite the bang because we've got a new intro. We've got a lot of new teams waiting to qualify themselves, or at least hoping to qualify themselves. And in that intro, you probably saw my face as well. Absolutely brilliant. So there's that as well. And for this season, once again, I shall be your commentator. I'm Frostbreath, aka Rob. And for me, this is quite a milestone as well, because this will be my 5th full-time, or actually my 5th full season, I should say, in commentating here for the competitive speed series. It's been an absolute blast as per usual. And once again, I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen this time around. And what a season it is promising to be, because, as we all know, the champions of last season, VNT, aka Ventari Esports, have automatically qualified, and therefore 9 spots remain for 9 different teams to qualify themselves. And I can tell you there's a lot of promising teams on the board. For example, the team that challenged VNT last season around FRT returns in the 3rd lobby in about 40 minutes time. We've also got the return of FVR, champions of season 4. And of course, the the previous champions, the reigning champions, as you'd say, of VNT, aka NLR, are here as well. They were also the champions in season 3, so technically they are a 2-time champion right now. Let's see if they can defend the crown. So VNT, as I say, automatically qualified for this season. So what are the other 19 teams, you wonder then? Well, I'm going to tell you in a quick moment. For the first lobby, you'll be seeing a TRT, Tatum Res Tech. We have also got Nero Esport, a full Danish esports team. We've got Falcon Racing, abbreviated as FRE. We've got Vroom, aka VRM, and we also got SKG Sim Sport. So that means 5 teams are getting ready to qualify in what is going to be Hungary. That is going to be our qualifying night track. We're about to head there as I speak. And in a few moments, I'll take you to the track as well. And then we'll see who is going to be fast and who is going to be struggling. I've got a nice list of names here for the team for TRT. We've got Nick Golden. We know him as Supply Raptor on Steam. We also got Gianluca Nolfo for the team qualifying, hopefully for them. Nero, I've brought in Oliver Marsner and Mark Holt. FRE, I've got Razvan Andre and Darius Ionascu. VRM, the familiar names of Jeremy Gallagher and Jordan Mopti. And SKG, I've got Tom Campbell and Luan Skiller. So that's going to be an interesting one. And let's see what they bring then. Some facts being talked about in the chat as well. Joined with OP for most PC titles. Technically wrong, apparently, because they've won 1 title on PC. Yes, they've won the other one on console. So PC-wise, NLR are the double champions, the only double champions, NLR/VNT. So then, let's head to the game and show you what's going on. Of course, weather is not going to play a factor. And I'm hoping that the game is going to run smoothly. I saw the Stinger was a little bit laggy. This is also, of course, a bit of a test for my own sake to see if everything is running nicely. I've got some extra settings running now as well. For example, path tracing is back on. I've got some extra frame generation, NVIDIA frame generation, which will hopefully not affect performance. So do forgive me if things may not run as smooth for the first time round. So then, several drivers are out on track at the moment. It's TRT's Gianluca Nolfo, Tom Campbell for SKG as well. Jeremy Gallagnier, I believe, is quite eager to get going. He's gone out very early indeed, as he's headed through the middle sector already. The tricky bit, of course, the chicane right here is always a challenge to navigate through properly. But we do know Jeremy Gallagnier to be quite a decent qualifier. I wouldn't be surprised if VRM will once again qualify for this season. I have to say, though, 20 teams eager to get going. Of course, one of them is automatically in, so 19 teams are trying to qualify themselves in the top 10. That is quite a lot of them. 4 lobbies failed each with 5 teams. I quite like seeing that. And now we're going to find out what Jeremy Gallagnier is going to do. The first benchmark will be hitting us in about 1 minute and 14 or 15 seconds. Let's see then. Jeremy Gallagnier will encounter an Aston Martin straight towards turn number 1. Looking nice and easy. I felt like it might have been a bit understeery there through the corner, then headed through a corner that really doesn't have a number. Then this is turn 2, of course. A very wide hairpin, a sweeper, I'd like to call them indeed. Turn 3 up next. And already towards the end of the first sector. It's quite clear out on track, which is of course a big advantage in qualifying night. Only 10 cars will be out there at most, which means running into traffic will be a rare thing indeed. As opposed to, I believe it was the last season as well, and certainly 2 seasons ago, ghosting will actually not be on, so you have to move out of each other's way, otherwise a penalty will hit you straight away. And we all know that penalties in qualifying night are quite painful to get, and I can already tell you that 2 teams have managed to get themselves a penalty before we even had started. MGA, I've got a 0.5 second penalty, which sounds like very little, but it could be absolutely crucial for apparently having the wrong driver in, and FRT having a 0.5 second penalty, as Jeremy Gallagnier slots a 14.4 in. FRT a 0.5 second penalty for a late driver lineup. I also know, at least I've been told, that Nero is at risk of a penalty as well due to the grid finder sign-ups being too late. You might also have noticed that Ace, the organizer of this team event, is there as well in the drivers list. They had to pick a car as they were the host, so that is your reason why. Tom Campbell in second place, about a 10th back from Jeremy Gallagnier. Jordan Mopti is going to bring the average of VRM up by quite a bit, 15.2 at the moment. That means it's about a 14.8 on average. That is currently, it's difficult to say who is the quickest out of the lot, because several drivers still have to settle lap time. Darius Ionascu and Supply Raptor are still not out yet. They are waiting patiently for an even clearer track, with Nero drivers posting a 1 minute 16 each. And I've got the feeling that's not nearly going to be good enough. Ras van Andrij for FRE, the only driver of their team out on track at the moment, trying to get around as fast as he can. We've got 3 drivers only with a 1 minute 14. Whoa, there goes the Ras van Andrij. The first drama of the season 7 there, as he spins around on the exit of turn, what's it, 12, I believe. I do not have my track map up, so that's why I'm completely oblivious once again to the track corners. But you've gotten used to that from me, so there we are. Instead, I've got the team names up, which I think is a bit more important than the corner numbers, to be honest. Let's see. I don't think anybody is on a hot lap at the moment. We've got SKG with 2 drivers with an average of, well, let's see, that's a 1 minute 14.75-ish, 8-ish. Yeah, 1 minute 14.8. So at the moment, VRM the fastest on average, and Nero the slowest. But then again, only 3 teams have gotten 2 drivers with a lap time there. FRE the only team without a lap time at all, and TRT still missing Supply Raptor on his way at the moment. In the meantime, you might have noticed at the top of the chat there is a link to a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet will show you the lap time average and the ranking of qualifying night. It will be updated as quickly as humanly possible. I believe Ace is responsible for that one. I will also show you it on stream in between the sessions to keep you updated live on what's going on. Interesting. To know that... I've forgotten what I wanted to say because I got distracted by something going on in the chat. I've got no clue what's going on with BBE. But there we are. Supply Raptor on his way at the moment. On track as well. He's got his teammate as a benchmark, 14.611. Purple first sector, 26.7. As all the messages in the chat get deleted. So, yeah, I'll probably not get to know what it exactly it means. Might just be me then. Let's find out what the average is going to be for TRT. Gianluca Nolfo, 14.6. Supply Raptor up next as he ends the second sector where they were 53.114. And then only 3 more corners to go. And then we'll know what it's going to be. I see Razvan Andre once again out there. Darius Ionascu is still in the pit lane. If he isn't going to be any quicker now, they only got time for 1 run, which is not ideal on a qualifying night where qualifying is literally the most important thing. And there we go, TRT is going to get a very nice average indeed. And I think on average they are now the fastest team of this lobby. TRT then doing quite well. We saw them slowly creeping up the standings and up the pace in last season. Had a bit of a rough start, but they were slowly getting quicker and quicker. And now they're already showing some promise. But then again, from what we've seen in the previous season, qualifying night really doesn't say a whole lot about what the race pace or potential performance of the teams is going to be in the actual season. The greatest example was 2 seasons ago where VRM qualified like really high, but in the end, in the standings, was only about somewhere in the midfield. So there's that. We'll see therefore what everybody's going to do. Razvan Andre is going to have another attempt. Jeremy Gallagher improves and goes a little bit faster, 14.369. Jordan Mopti is about to finish his time as well. He's, wow, look at that, 3.5 tenths up in the second sector already. There's a promising improvement for the second French driver of the team. Improves to P5. That's at 14.787. Of course, position isn't important. Lap time all the more. Ron's Killer, who has apparently forgotten his SKG tag, goes extraordinarily wide. And carries on. I do think, though, he's going to come back in. Whoa, that's an aggressive way to go through that corner. Not looking quite happy as Tom Campbell actually goes fastest overall, 14.349, 2 100ths quicker than Jeremy Gallagher. And SKG's average goes down ever so slightly. Looking strong though. Of course, being the fastest tonight isn't important. Having the best average, or at least the top 9 best average, is much more important than that. Although it wouldn't hurt if you've got something to gloat about. We saw that last season as well, where VNT, I believe, were the ones to gloat about their lap times being the fastest. And TF10, of course, the former champions. They were looking strong qualifying night, but in the season itself, they had so much struggles. And they were never really a title challenger. Unfortunately, TF10 is not going to be here this season. They couldn't find a full roster of drivers that could make the Saturday nights once again. So that's a bit of a shame. That means we will definitely not see another FVR versus TF10 repeat. We might see something else versus FVR, for example VNT perhaps, or maybe even FRT, perhaps some other team that will up their games. TRT might be in the run as well. If Luan's Killer can improve his lap time a little bit more, then SKG might be in there as too. And Razvan Andre, not too happy, invalidated. His teammate Darius Ionascu finally on his way. Only his first run. And yes, Brix, this is only qualifying. There will be no racing This qualifying is meant to determine which 10 teams will be on the grid for the season. The other 10 teams that will not qualify are going to be reserve teams. So the team that finishes in 10th in the standings will be the first reserve if one of the 9 teams is, or 10 teams actually, is going to drop out for one reason or another. We saw it happen twice last season. 2 teams dropping out for different reasons. The first team dropped out after 2 races only. And the other team dropped out a little bit later due to being unable to get a full driver lineup for like 3 times through the season. Then we saw ONB jump in, for example. They immediately got a podium with one driver, Maxime Ehler, who then immediately jumped ship to another team. So there was that. Always fascinating to see the drivers hopping around teams, trying to find better opportunities elsewhere. Darius Ionascu for FRE. They still haven't got any lap time on the board, and time is starting to run out. If they cannot manage a lap time whatsoever, they'll be getting a default lap time, and I can tell you that default lap time isn't going to be any good. And Darius's lap time, well, compared to the fastest lap times, isn't any good either. 16.0 only. And that means the pressure will now be on Razvan Andrei to try to find a bit better than that. As we speak, on average, TRT the fastest, followed by VRM, not that far behind. SKG then in 3rd for the moment. Nero in 4th, and FRE very far behind in 5th because they've got one driver without lap time still. Razvan Andrei with a spin on his first attempt, invalidation on the second one. Hungary apparently not being his favorite track. Happy to tell you that Nero is actually a all-Danish racing team. And FRE Falcon Racing, an unfamiliar face or a bit of an unknown, as they are trying to fight their way to the more familiar names. I like to see racing teams that are about one country. I know that we've also got MGA later down the line in Lobby 3. They are an all-French team, and of course we all know AMR, I believe they are mostly, if not entirely, Spanish. And I think we even got an Italian racing team in Bravo Racing Club, BRC, in the 4th lobby. Which is always cool to see. I'm not sure if there's a Dutch qualifying racing team, sorry, actually. Jeremy Gallagher then improving massively, as is Gianluca Nolfo. They're absolutely flying out there tonight. Jordan Mopti, I believe, is about to head back in. No. Yeah, he is. There we are. Swapping our attention then to Morkholt, the slowest of the current lap time owners, trying to find a bit more time on the board. His teammate Oliver Marsner has improved slightly. He managed to get into 1 minute 15s, but only barely. And same goes for Morkholt, a bit quicker than that, but they are still miles away from the quickest lap time of the lot. In fact, they are getting close to being at 2 seconds off the qualifying pace as he drifts through turn 1. That is quite interesting. Time is starting to run out. We've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Luon's Killer is out once again on an outlap. Jeremy Gallagher, I believe, is about to join us back in the pit box. And Razvan Andrei is going to get out for the final time. And hopefully set a lap time on the board. So far, it's not looking great for FRE, nor is it for Nero. So, let's hope that he'll find a blistering lap time. At the moment, Darius Ionascu is nearly 2 seconds away from the fastest lap time of the night. I will not say pole position, because once again, there will be no racing. As soon as this one is over, we'll be quickly swapping to the next lobby with the next 5 teams, which I will introduce once this is over. I can tell you there's going to be some big names in there. Let's get her coming back in before he's even started. Oh my goodness me! Oh man, that nearly went terribly wrong. He's lucky that damage isn't on. Otherwise, that would have ended in a huge nightmare. Wow. That caught me off guard. I probably also caught him off guard as well, or as Razvan Andrei has nearly come to a halt on the track. Not sure what's going on now, but things are already unfolding. You're not sure if that's a penalty. Well, he didn't hit him, so I don't think it is going to be a penalty. If he did hit him and the Red Bull had a penalty there, then of course it would have been a huge penalty for Luan Skiller. So let's see then. Ras van André, last chance. Less than 2 minutes remain. If he messes this one up, he might recharge his battery if it happens early in the lap for another attempt. Otherwise, it's the end for FRE, I'm afraid. He's got to have a lap time on the board. I suggest he keeps it within the white lines now. It looks like he's taking a bit more of a careful approach now, as you can see by his driving style. He's not taking much risk. Having a lap time on the board is far more important than being fast by this point. The pressure is definitely piling up for him. Through the middle sector, still within the white lines, and no spin either. So far, so good. No penalty for the lack of team tag for Luan Skiller. So that's good news there for SKG. Ras van André, though, still looking good. 2 more corners to go. And then the final corner right here. Across the line, we'll find out what the lap time is going to be. How close will it be to 1 minute 14? It's a 1 minute 15.4. 6/10 quicker than his teammates. And that's that for Ras van André. No more chances to improve. A Supply Raptor is currently 9 milliseconds faster. Who's going to be the quickest in the first lobby? So far, it's Jeremy Gallagher. Still an outlap. Jordan Mopti is on a hot lap at the moment. Jeremy has just let him through, I believe. He's also recharging his battery now for another go. Probably for the best. Is he going to give his teammate a tow, or is he going to go for himself? I think it's better to just go out on his own. Supply Raptor now about to finish his hot lap. The Red Bulls, one of them is finishing his lap time now. Oliver Marsner, 15.6. That's a little bit better, but I'm seriously doubting whether Nero is going to qualify, unfortunately. The average at the moment not looking strong, but Morkhold is still got a hot lap in him. Supply Raptor then on the line. 14.271. P3 then in the first lobby. Not bad. And the average for TRT is by far the lowest at the moment. But there's still some drivers on the way. Jordan Mopti has decided to do another outlap there. And he's going to try now with his teammate Jeremy Gallagher about 3 seconds back. I hope that gap is big enough. We're just waiting for the next driver to cross the line. Dario Nescu. Wow. Gone way too wide there. Had a big improvement in Sector 1, but that is qualifying over for him for sure. Let's see who's up next to cross the line. It's Tom Campbell, who had the fastest lap time in his hands for a few minutes. Can he now beat Jeremy Gallagher to the line and lower the average for SKG even more? What's it gonna be? He does improve to third position. 14.267, 4 milliseconds quicker than Supply Raptor. Up next then is his teammate Luan Skiller. Improves to a 15.178. Whether that's good enough or not, we'll find out. Jordan Mopti, unfortunately, has invalidated. That might potentially really hurt VRM later down the line. I believe Gianluca Novo has already retired. Morkhold will be going across the line very soon indeed. Jeremy Gallagher, same story. And Morkhold doesn't improve whatsoever. And Jeremy Gallagher stays... wow, look at that. This lap time was 1 millisecond slower than his previous one. But at least he can gloat that he's got the fastest time in the first lobby. Now then, the more important thing is going to be the average. And I can already tell you that it's being done quite rapidly by Ace, and I'll take you to those standings as we speak. The average is right here. This is how it stands then, and it looks like on average TRT is indeed the fastest. Don't worry about this one. They did jump to the bottom, of course, because that's how spreadsheets work. TRT the fastest with an average of a 14.251, followed by VRM with a 14.4725. That's not too shabby there. SKG now in third with a 14.7225. Then Nero in fourth for the time being with a 15.7055. And then FRE with a 15.738. I feel like at the moment the cut-off line might be very close to SKG's lap time, depending on how well everybody else does. I think it's somewhere in between SKG and Nero's lap times. I think SKG might be qualifying. I feel like Nero and FRE are much too far away. There's already a second difference between SKG and Nero there. So there you have it. FRT does have a penalty for a late driver lineup, Christian. So there's the reason why. And MGA has got a penalty for a wrong driver. Because they bloody well deserve it. Well, that's not the way it works. All right, the first lobby is done. And no, we do not have SCI either. There's a few big names missing, unfortunately. I think the biggest name that is missing is TF10. I think that's a big shame. I would have really liked to see a championship battle between TF10, FER, VNT, and FRT, and maybe somebody else there as well. TRT perhaps, or AMR. They were quick on several races last season as well. And maybe OMB has upped their game as well. So, yeah, big shame, big shame. But I do hope we'll see at least 3 teams fighting for the title, perhaps more. That would be absolutely brilliant. So, first lobby done. And in a few minutes' time, we'll be heading to the second one. You can see here on the screen, if you just tuned in, the average lap times for the 5 teams that have so far driven. I can also see that lobby 3 has 4 teams now. Things are changing fast. Never mind, there already were 4 teams there in the third lobby. So the second lobby, I can tell you can already see it on screen right there. It's going to be IRT, aka International Racing Team. We've got Onibi Esports, aka ONB, Alien Motorsports, abbreviated as AMS. We've got Sierra Esports, and of course the champions of Season 4, FER Campeonato. They have returned, and my game has crashed. Brilliant. Well, it will allow me to get in quickly because we've still got a few minutes. And you can have a little look for a little while at this table. We'll see whether penalties will get added or not. I don't think any of the 5 teams in the first lobby will be receiving any penalties so far. We saw a big moment in the pit entry. A big moment in the pit entry for one of the FRE drivers, which might be reportable. I can already see something in the incident report chat happening, but that's just the format that is being posted. I can also tell you that Nero will not get a penalty because they managed to get their grid finder lineup done in time, which is good news for them. Currently, they're sitting in 4th position. Not too bad then. Not too bad for TRT VRM. They are looking quite strong. But we still got some big names coming up as well. Alien Motorsports versus Alien Motor Racing. Yes, AMS versus AMR. There's also some other teams that got nearly identical abbreviations. FRT, FRE, for example. We also had a QRT and I believe some other Q abbreviation team there. But they have, I believe, retracted their sign-up. As I'm trying to get back in the lobby. Thankfully, there's always a little bit of time in between these sessions to allow for these things to happen as well. So IRT, ONB, AMS, SET, and FAR are joining as we speak. I have just rejoined the lobby. I can tell you 4 drivers of the 10 are in at the moment. Both of the IRT drivers are in. 1 AMS driver, 1 ONB driver. The rest has to hurry up because if they are not in 3 minutes' time, it means they'll get a penalty as well. And especially in the case of, for example, FR of FER, that's going to hurt big time. As for the lineups for these teams, I've got those ready for you as well, thanks to Ace typing them out in the commentators' chats on the Discord. For IRT, we've got František Dzežurny alongside René Klein in the McLarens. Then ONB, I've got Alex Asinas and Anton Chebotarov. AMAS have got Sinan and Axel. SET have got Speedy and Zozo. And FER will have Nick Arrow and Alexi Cavero. Some familiar names there as well. You can see AMS picking their cars. Let me have a quick look at which cars they all should have. IRT will have the McLaren, as I said. ONB will be in the Aston Martins. AMS will be in the V-Carb. I believe one of the drivers has misunderstood that one, because one of the AMS drivers currently in the Alpine. FER will be in the Red Bull and SET in the Mercedes car. And then in half an hour time, we'll have the third lobby up for you with the next 4 teams, followed by the final 5 in about an hour's time. So that's the entertainment for you lot tonight. There's a whole lot to look forward to. I'm definitely looking forward to what these teams can do. I'm expecting some big things for FER. I'm also expecting ONB to do well. They had a brilliant season in the previous one, season 6. Even if they joined a little bit later, they managed to do quite well in the standings in the end. So good job by them. Lobby is slowly filling up. We're still missing 2 drivers, 1 FER driver, 1 SET driver, and then we'll be good to go. Let's hope they'll be joining in time. They've got about a minute left. A Supply Raptor is showing his setup apparently. And saying, I don't know how I got a lap in with this. Well, it's looking good there. At the moment, TRT the fastest of the lot, and their lap times incredibly close together, as you can see on the sheet right here. 14.231 and a 14.271 for both drivers, respectively. 14.251 on average is a very strong one indeed. And now I think, yep, indeed, we are complete. Just in time, the final 2 drivers have joined. We can also see that every driver has picked the correct car by this point, and that means we'll be on our way as we speak. They can ready up now as Ace has given the green light in the Discord for round number 2. And once that one is done, we'll have a pretty good overview of which averages are going to be the cutoff time to whether you make it or not. You can see at the top of the table, VNT looking quite safe there. I think some of the drivers are happily watching on to see what their soon-to-be rivals will be doing. Their previous season's rivals will be out there for a little while. Our team will only be joining in the third lobby, but they've already got a penalty to their name, so that is potentially a big problem for them. They'll have to do some mighty lap times. All right, let's see then. Off we go for lobby number 2 with these 5 teams. IRT, ONB, AMS, SET, and FVR. Let's see where they are going to be. The fastest lap time at the moment in the hands of Jeremy Gallonier for VRM with a 14.158. Let's see if anybody in this lobby is able to beat that one. A 1 minute 13 perhaps could be on the boards. And we've got some really properly fast drivers in. Let me take you to the track for the second time tonight. Here we are. So then, apart from the game crashing after going back to the lobby, it looks like we are without issues. I think the Stinger has fixed itself as well. No more issues there either. And as far as I'm aware, OBS is performing quite well. So looks like my PC is holding itself together nicely. In the meanwhile, the Discord, one of the managers of AMS worries whether both AMS drivers are in. Fortunately, they are both. Sinan Jr. and Axel are in their Racing Bulls. And one of them out already. Axel, the first of the Racing Bulls, out on track. And both SET drivers on their way as well. Speedy and Zozo. It sounds like a comedic duo, these two. Speedy and Zozo are on their way at the moment. First and second out on track. It's quite busy, unlike the previous lobby, where some drivers waited quite a long time. So, yeah, that was a risk there. And in the end, unfortunately, their performance really wasn't up to scratch compared to the rest. Their average, as I said, a 15.738, currently last in the qualifying standings. So let's see then. Of course, the banker laps are going to get in first. And then we'll know what we might potentially expect. The first lap time by Jeremy Gallonier was a 14.4-ish, or 3, I believe. 14.4, I think it was. So we might want to look forward to lap times in that kind of category. If that's the case, then they might be able to challenge VRM for the fastest lap of qualifying night in Season 7. And perhaps get a nice average. VRM, their second driver with a 14.787. Might have some nail-biting moments up for them, but it's still too early to say. By the end of this lobby, 10 teams will have been putting in their lap times. And then we'll be able to get some average math in by the time lobby 3 and 4 hit. But for now then, Speedy on his way through Sector 1. First sector is a 26.780. That's not too shabby. His teammate following suit right there. Just a few seconds behind. Then, of course, both AMS cars. One of the IRT cars on his way as well. But we're currently watching Speedy as well as Zozo in the background. And then we'll know what their lap times are going to be. Everybody's on a hot lap at the moment. Oh, into the cross goes Speedy. A bit too much speed through the corner there. Lives up to his name for sure. But that's his lap time over. And Zozo overtakes him already. 53.173 through Sector 2 for Sierra Esports with 2 corners to go. Oh, he spins again there, Speedy. Right ahead of one of the AMS drivers. Not sure why he didn't move out of the way a bit earlier there. He might risk a penalty for that one. That's no good. Let's hope he gets himself onto the track back safely. As Zozo slots in with a 14.8. Same goes for Axel, and Sinan goes a little bit quicker. There's going to be some quicker drivers coming across the line now. For example, René Klein as well as Alexi Cavero. 14.5 each. With Anton Chebataro having invalidated. But Nick Arrow with his first banker lap. He's already quicker than Jeremy Gallagher. Remember, Jeremy had a 14.158 and Nick Arrow's got a 14.121 on the banker lap. That is absolutely mental. Extraordinary lap there already, and he's well clear of the rest of the field. IRT though, well done to the both of them. René Klein, Francisek Jejorni, 14.5 sorry each. And so far, every driver in this lobby below 1 minute 15. And that's going to cause some headaches to Nero and FRE for sure. The averages are already lower than most of these teams. Of course, ONB and SET have only got one driver out there with a lap time yet. Speedy having spun, Alex Azinas having invalidated his teammate Anton Chebataro is not doing too bad with a 14.603. So that's looking quite strong for all of these drivers. Might be the strongest lobby we will see tonight. It's always interesting to see. A little bit of drama with Speedy going around and going off. Potentially hurting the lap time of one of the racing bulls. Whether it was Sinan or Axel, I cannot tell you. The lap times, though, close together. Within 1.5 tenths of each other. So the average is currently about a 1 minute 14.8 dead as we speak. And that would currently slot them in 4th position. As for IRT, a 1 minute 14.50-ish. Actually, it would be a 1 minute 14.51 on average. Would slot them into 3rd ahead of SKG. And FVR, an average of, well, let's say a 1 minute 14.3-ish. Would slot them into 2nd. I feel like Alexi and Nick both will have some extra lap time in the tank, considering this is only their banker lap. And the average already being good enough for 2nd place in the table of qualifying night. It is looking good for FVR, but it shouldn't be really be surprising there. Some drives already on the 2nd outlap. René Klein, for example, just got out of the pit lane. His teammate Francisek Jejorni, I think is, well, look at that, has invalidated at least this lap. But let's find out whether Speedy can keep it on the track this time round and stay close to his teammate. Otherwise, the average might become a little bit worrying. Let's see whether Francisek heads back into the pit lane. I think he does. I think he's out of fuel because he gets a yellow flag out automatically. Indeed, that's definitely the sound of an empty tank there. Speedy then on his way, encountering some traffic. One of the FVR cars ahead. As well as one of the ONBs. There we are. Moving nicely out of the way there as Alexi Cavero on his way to a second run. And for some reason, Speedy is now on an outlap again. That's a little bit confusing, to be honest. Not sure what happened there. I'm sure he was on a hot lap a moment ago. I think he still is, or at least he's under the assumption that he is. From our point of view, though, it looks like the game has decided that he's not on a hot lap at the moment. But he's going fast, so we'll just assume he is, but we can't tell you how quick he's going at the moment. He drifts through the second to last corner. That's going to hurt his lap time a little bit. He's definitely on it. Across the line. And that's a 14.862. Very interesting. Just behind his teammate. René Klein then. Up next, 31 milliseconds quicker through the first sector. Behind him, Zozo for a second run as well. René, of course, at the moment, second fastest in Lobby 2 with a very nice lap time. I have 14.5, but I want some more. You want to be as quick as possible to risk, to lower the risk as much as possible. You do not want to be on the dropout line at the risk of elimination, so to say. A 10th quicker then through the second sector. It's looking good then for René Klein, as he only needs 2 more corners. His teammate, Francisco Giorni, on an outlap as we speak. Everybody else on a hot lap except for Speedy, who's already finished his. Now then, onto the main straight, across the line. What's it going to be? A 1 minute 14.3. Look at that. Very nice indeed. Let's see then, Zozo is going in. Decided to not finish his lap, perhaps invalidated. Alex Asinas is still going strong with 2 more corners to go. He will finally get his lap time on the board. Will he be anywhere close to Anton Chebatarov? He goes back in. So scratch that one then. Alexi Cavero on his way through the final corner. With the 2 Racing Bulls right behind Sinan and Axel. But Alexi Cavero improving quite nicely and lowering the average of FVR, I think, to be the best of the night so far. Up next then, one of the Racing Bulls. That is, I believe, Axel, who just crossed the line, 14.521. His teammate has gone back into the pit lane. Nick Arrow, same story. Looks like a lot of drivers unhappy with their lap times. Franciszek has gone out of sync. He's now on his way for a hot lap. As you can see there, the timer is running. Although it might just be a glitch again, like we saw with Speedy. But his battery light isn't flashing, so that means he's pushing. And he definitely is. 19 milliseconds quicker through Sector 1. But he might want to find some more than that. At the moment, the average 15.4-ish. Still faster than VRM. Slower than FVR and TRT, so a solid 3rd position at the moment. I think I will try to keep you as much updated as I can live during the qualifiers as well. To let you know how well the teams are doing. About a 10th quicker now through Sector 2. Perhaps it's the final sector then, where you will find the big times. It was a small amount in Sector 1, a fairly small amount in Sector 2, perhaps some more than in Sector 3, is deciding to finishing the lap. Indeed he is. 8 minutes remaining qualifying. There will be plenty of time to come back in and get back out. 14.426, lost a little bit of time in the final sector. But he's definitely quicker, and that is what counts. Track position, not important at all. Lap time, crucial. Alex Asinas then, still the one driver without a lap time. Still trying to get anywhere near his teammate. As it stands, O&B. Doesn't really have an average yet. As I said, a driver without a lap time will get a default time. I do not know what the default time is, but I'd say it's something about a 1 minute 17, I think. If you get a lap time like that, even only one of them, is going to severely hurt your chances. Nobody on the hot lap at the moment, so no worries for Alex to move out of the way. Zozo, though, is the first driver to get on another hot lap with less than 7 minutes remaining. He might have another go, but I think you only get 3 sets of soft tires from the top of my head. That is not going to be helpful. If this is his last set, then it's over after this one. And that means he might have gone out a little bit too early for his final run. Default is 1 minute 22. Ooh, that's painful if you got that one. Alex really might want to get his lap time in then. Zozo on his way. A small improvement in Sector 1. Wow, look at that. Nearly launches his Mercedes twice through the chicane. These Mercedes drivers are on it tonight. Goes wide, but doesn't invalidate somehow. Might have lost more time than he gained there. Wow. He's pushing, and look at that. He's lost a load of time with that moment, as well as the chicane. And the moment going too wide. That's 4 moments where it went wrong for Zozo. What's he going to do now, then? He's deciding to finish the lap. On the final corner. What's it going to be? It is an improvement after all. A lot of time found in the final sector. Well done. But it could have been so much more. Still, though, an improvement for SET. Nick Arrow, quickest through the middle sector. He's currently on his way to 1 minute 13. Will we actually see a 1 minute 13 for this qualifying night? Nick Arrow might just be the man to do it. 2 more cars ahead of him, about to cross the line. It's Axel starting a hot lap, and I think it's Anton finishing his. Or no, it's actually Alex who's gone really quick. And look at that! Nick Arrow does go fastest once again, as he already was, but he does go into the 1 minute 13s. And he smashed the lap record he already had. Extraordinary scenes there by Nick Arrow. René Klein unhappy, even though he was on an improvement in the second sector. Might have lost it in the previous 2 corners, perhaps. Speedy at the moment, much slower in the first sector. I'm not sure, he's busy trying to improve his lap time, but it's not working as we speak. Alexi Cavero a bit quicker in the middle sector. Nowhere near his teammate though, but it doesn't really matter to him. He wants to be as fast as he can. To lower the average for FVR even more. If he does so, they'll definitely be the leaders. And there we are, 1 minute 14.182. He's very close to beating Jeremy Gallonier's time, and I can tell you by this point, they are easily the fastest on average, a 14.0-ish. 40.0 high, 40.07, 8, something like that. Is going to be the average for them, but it's more than enough to claim the top position. And claim it from TRT. There's a promising sign there for them. Franciszek Jezorny has improved, I believe, to P5, unless he's on a hot lap right now. Let's find out whether he's pushing or not. At the end of the first sector, he is 26 milliseconds quicker. According to the game, that is purple. Let's take it with a grain of salt. He's about 4.5 tenths away on his previous lap time. So if that is true, we'll have to find a mighty amount of lap time in sectors 2 and 3. Let's see what happens with Franciszek Jezorny for IRT. Second sector. Wow, look at that. 3 tenths nearly quicker. That is looking strong. IRT might be one of those teams that will find themselves at the top of the tables, or at least near the top of the tables as well. Going a little bit wide there. Through the penultimate corner then. And the last one here onto the main straight. What will we see? A 40.101. Second place in Lobby 2. And the average of IRT now just over 1 minute 14.2. That might be very nearly second place now, with the FVR taking the top spot. TRT sitting in second, I think. The average of TRT being 14.25. It looks like this average is going to be a 1 minute 40.22. Sort of, more or less. So at the moment, they are faster than TRT already. TRT now pushed down to third. We'll soon know what the rest of the teams will be. ONB also looking strong, 14.45 on average at the moment, quicker than VRM. I think, if my math hasn't failed me there. Mostly because of Alex's quick lap time. Anton is not doing too bad either, and everybody now getting out for their final runs. Except for Franciszek Jezorny, whose final run is already over. He'll have to now cheer on his teammate Sinan, the first to start the final attempt. And this lobby is really, really looking strong. Very, very quick drivers. I wouldn't be surprised if all of these teams, all 5 of them, will qualify after tonight. Really depends on how lobby 3 and 4 will do, of course, and how they will be standing. Look at that, through the first sector. Well over a 10th quicker already. It's looking good for Sinan. They've upped their game for sure, AMS have. Wow, the chicane is always a big trouble there. I'm not sure if that was the ideal line. From this point of view, it's difficult to judge. But Sinan is still going quick. If he felt like that was bad, he would have backed out and charged his battery. For the middle sector, look at that. It was indeed a good line then. He's gone even quicker now. 2 tenths up. On his way to potentially a 1 minute 14.5 or more. Or I should technically say less. Sinan through the final corner. Not too wide. Well done. Cross the line. 14.528. Just behind his teammate. And now, let's see. Can Nick Arrow go even quicker? Can Alexi get closer to his teammate? What about René Klein? Slower in sector 1. That's no good. He doesn't want that. Speedy, I cannot tell you for the life of me whether he was quicker in this first sector. But he's gonna try for sure. He went off on the first attempt here. And then spun in the next corner. Purple middle sector, about a 10th quicker. Not bad. SET looking strong. Let's see what happens. Speedy then through the final 2 corners. Same goes for René Klein as he goes across the line. Hasn't improved whatsoever. Speedy, though, will improve to a 1 minute 14.3. Up next is teammate Zozo, the slowest of the qualified, but half a second quicker through the middle sector. Where did he find that lap time? Out of nowhere. There goes Zozo up to 3rd position for SET. Surprise, surprise. That was a monstrous effort there. On the final attempt when the pressure is highest, Alexi Covero doesn't improve. Nick Arrow up next. He is quicker through sector 2. What can he do as he goes across the line? He does improve even more. 13.8. Sinan is going across the line again, and then Alex Asinas has invalidated. That's bad news. Sorry, Anton Chabatarov has invalidated. Will not improve, but Alex Asinas did. And I think ONB might be in with a good shot. Wow. I think comeback of the night is definitely in the name of Zozo. His lap time went from being so-so to absolutely brilliant. Forgive me the pun there. These are the lap times in lobby 2. And yeah, if you take the entire lobby, on average, the entire lobby is quicker than SKG, Nero, and FRE. So that is very interesting indeed. Right, now let's find out what the tables are gonna look like as I'm swapping to it right now. And of course, we're hoping that the lobby isn't going to crash again. This is as it stands. Indeed, FER is now the fastest. IRT has managed to get up to 2nd place with an average of 1 minute 14.216. A little bit quicker than TRT there. They've now fallen down to 3rd. SET, now the team in 4th position. They have got a 14.266. OMB in P5, followed by AMS in 6th position. VRM now already down to 7th. That's not looking great for them. SKG are starting to get closer to that bottom, to the benchmark. A 40.7225 might not be good enough after all. Nero and Every are still technically in, but there are still 9 teams to come in the second, or the final 2 lobbies, I should say. So there we are. At the moment, we are swapping the lobby drivers around. And the next 4 teams up for the qualifiers are ET8, Esports. We've got the vice champions of last season already hit with a penalty. FRT, Future Racing Team. Followed by an all-French racing team. Just like we had last season, we had F1AF. And now we've got MGA Esports as an all-French racing team in Lobby 3. And then QRT as well. And frankly, 2 of the teams in this lobby already have a time penalty to their name, and that half a second. Well, you can already see now why I was saying that it was going to be a problem, that penalty. is really going to hurt. FRT is going to have to be absolutely blisteringly fast now if they want to challenge VNT again for that championship. And good news as well, the game hasn't crashed. So there's that. I just remember that last season I was the lobby host too. Thankfully, this time I'm not. Let me introduce you the drivers for each team in this third lobby. For ET8, we've got Jonas Orpol and Marius Ioannou. For FRT, we've got Benjamin Webb and Takubi, aka Maxime van Averbeek. MGA have brought in Kraken and Kynix. And for QRT, we've got Kurumi and Herman Polyakov. That's the 8 names. Their cars, you might wonder. We've got ET8 in the McLaren, FRT in the Alpine, MGA in the Mercedes, and QRT in the Aston Martin. And after that, only 5 teams remain to qualify themselves for this season. And after this lobby, we'll find out which 4 teams will not have made the cut. And as it stands, Nero and FRE are the teams most in danger. Best team from Lobby 2, the votes are quite obviously in favor of FVR. AMS and SET had 16% of the votes, followed by RT, and then ONB with only 9%. I have to say, though, ONB are faster than AMS. And now you can vote on the best team for Lobby 3. Of course, the biggest 2 names being ET8 and FRT. MGA and QRT are the lesser known teams here. So let's see what they can do. Perhaps they will be the biggest surprises. 5 drivers in the lobby as we speak. We've got 6 minutes remaining for them. That will allow us for a little bit of a break. And I'll see you in a few minutes' time. All right, back in business. I can tell you that this lobby is already filled up with the 8 drivers we were expecting. The 8 drivers that I mentioned earlier are actually all in. And that means no penalties or extra penalties heading these 4 teams' ways. Once again, as you can see on the timing sheet, FRT and MGA having been hit by a penalty already. FRT for having a late lineup. MGA for having the wrong driver. I'm not sure which of the two is the wrong driver, whether it's Kinix or Kraken. Or whether it's for some other reasons. So, let's see. Who's going to do best? According to you lot in the chat, it's ET8 that is going to be the best team in lobby number 3 by 61% as we speak. FRT with 22% of the votes. MJ by 9% as well as QRT 9% of the votes as well. Wow. Let's find out. FRT robbed. Yeah, I mean, I believe all the teams have had plenty of warnings to submit their driver lineups in time. And if you don't do that, that's a penalty headed your way. Unfortunately, that's how things go. And FRT will have to prove something huge. As I said, they were the vice champions last season. They've got a point to prove. They held on for quite a while. But VNT simply was too quick. They were dominant last season, if you remember. 12 races there were. Half of them were won by VNT. So that is saying a lot. And I believe they've got a podium in every single race as well. So, yeah, that is quite the statistics for that team. Let's head to the game for the 3rd time. Once again, let's see how things are going to go here for these 4 teams. 8 drivers, I should say there. Marius Ioanu and Jonas Orpel for ET8. Kraken and Kynix, sorry, for MGA. QRT have got Herman Polyakov and Karumi. And as I said already, Benjamin Webb and Maxime van Averbeke, aka Takubi, for FRT. Let's see Karumi first out on track, quite eager to get going. Some drivers have decided to go out a little bit later. The only full team out right now is QRT. Will they be the surprise of this lobby? Perhaps they are. They've at least got a quick driver, the name of Herman Polyakov. Not saying that Karumi isn't, but I do not know Karumi, so I cannot tell you whether he's quick or not. We'll find out. Last lobby for sure, on average, was by far the quickest of the lot. And I think they will keep that record. All 5 teams were rapid. And it's no surprise that 4 of the 5 teams from lobby 2 are in the top 5 as we speak. That might change though. I'm definitely expecting ET8 and FRT to do well. MGA and QRT for me are the 2 unknown factors. But then again, F1AF last season was an unknown for me as well, but they pleasantly surprised me in qualifying night. Unfortunately, in the actual season, they were usually bottom of the field. I just couldn't get it together, unfortunately for them. So let's see what these teams are going to do. Here we go. Karumi first to set a hot lap. It looks like both MGA drivers have decided to stay in a little while longer. They will be going out of sync. Or at least one of them is, because the first Mercedes has just managed to exit the pit box and is in pit lane as we speak. Karumi on his way through turn 2 and then headed towards turn number 3. Nice and easy does it. This is a banker lap, remember that. We've already seen 3 drivers in total who had to wait until the very final attempt to get a proper lap time in. And that's not something you want to see. Let me actually enable the lap data to give you some more information. Oh, there goes Karumi. A bit too much speed there in turn 5. And that's his lap time done for. So swapping our attention to Herman Polyakov, his teammate, who is still going strong. Karumi's lap time already in the bin. Perhaps he can get another lap time out on this set. He might have... Oh, there goes his teammate as well. QRT is not having the greatest of opening laps. Might have just jinxed the both of them. Both lap times now over. And that means Benjamin Webb is the first to set a lap time. But scratch that, because he's invalidated. Is somebody going to finish the lap? Well, perhaps Jonas Orpel. He's still going there. And his teammate is right behind. The 2 drivers ahead, back into the pit lane. They will not do another lap on this set of tires. No surprises there, because of course the tire wear is really high here. 14.448, a strong opening lap there for Jonas Orpel. Marius Ioanu goes even quicker, 14.2. That is nearly as quick as Nick Arrow was in Lobby 2. And definitely quicker than most drivers on their first attempt. It could be 14.7. Then both MGA drivers are now starting the hot laps. Kraken first and then Koenig second. He's a lot further back, so we're watching Kraken going round now. Not having the greatest turn 1 exit. Had to make a few corrections there. Went a bit too wide, had to correct to the inside a bit more. And off he goes. Sector 1, 26.7. That's quite nice. And invalidation by going too wide in turn 4. I didn't really see it happen though, so that's interesting. That means we'll be watching Koenigs for a while. What's his first sector gonna be? 27.1. That's quite a lot slower than his teammate. It's not looking that promising for MGA at the moment. But perhaps he'll find some magic in sector 2. I mean, we also had Zozo in the last lobby, going massively quicker on his final attempt. It's never done until the time is up. Very safe there. Well within the white lines and not even on the curb, meaning he's not pushing that hard just yet. Just wants to get a lap time in. His teammate is gone again. Kraken has decided to do another lap time on this set of tires. Doesn't want to waste any lost potential there. Koenigs across the line. 1 minute 16.3. Oof, yeah. I'm afraid to say that's the slowest lap time we've seen so far. Let's hope that was only because of the banker lap. 28.4 through sector 1 for Kraken and invalidates again. Where does he go too wide then? I really didn't see him going wide twice, and yet he somehow invalidates the both of them. I'm just missing something here, I'm sure. Either way, the first sector really wasn't quick anyway. These tires are already dead. And he's gonna have to come in now. 2 seconds off the pace in the first sector alone is not gonna do it. And I think MGA are going to struggle. Currently his teammate is 4th fastest, but that's only because the other drivers haven't posted a lap time yet. And in goes Kraken for a fresh set of tires, a much needed fresh set of tires, I have to say. And Benjamin Webb is going to try again now. There's still plenty of time remaining. 26.7. Good first sector then. And to be frank, that was about as quick as Kraken was, so perhaps he might be able to save the MGA team. Wow. Benjamin Webb launching his car through both of the chicane corners. He's absolutely on it on his second attempt. First one was invalidated. His teammate with a 14.7 at the moment. He might want to be quicker than that. Otherwise the average is going to be as quick as VRM was. And they are getting... or sorry, SKG I should say. And they are getting close to the bottom of the table now. I think indeed, as I predicted in the first lobby, that SKG's lap time might be the drop-off point still. With Benjamin Webb coming across the line. Look at that, that's what they need. And that means their lap time is going to be a 1 minute 1 minute 40.63-ish. 364, 6364. That means they're at least quicker than SKG, but slower than VRM. And with ET8 slotting in an easy, let's see, 4th position at the moment. That means FRT at the moment, even with the penalty, are still in trouble. We might not see FRT qualify for Season 7, my dear viewers. Let's hope for their sake that they can. ETA, though, also looking strong. But I already know from experience I cannot rely too much on qualifying nights in terms of potential race pace. You never really know. I mean, we've seen some quick teams in qualifying night being really slow in the season itself, and then vice versa. Teams that failed to qualify and joined a little bit later in the season managed to be pretty quick. The qualifying night really isn't everything. It's just to be among the first 10 teams to go into the season from the start. That's crucial if you want to have a championship fight on your hands. Jonas Orpel. Is he going to finish this lap? Yes, he is. His teammate Maris Ioanu just behind. Quickest of the lot so far. Jonas first across the line of the two. 1 minute 14.2. Quite a lot quicker than his previous attempt. Nearly as quick as his teammate, who has abandoned this lap and goes straight back into the pit lane. So then, ET8 lead with an easy 1-2. And their average is getting awfully close to, well, let's say TRT's average lap time. I might overtake them for third place on the qualifying sheet. IRT and FVR still second and first respectively. I think ET8 might be able to potentially beat IRT to second place. I think FVR are untouchable as we speak. Unless one of these top two teams have got something to say about it. As it stands, the poll is still quite right with 51% of the votes now going to ET8. A bit more of the votes have now gone to FRT, but as it stands, ET8 on average definitely easily the quickest of this lobby. 8 minutes remain, enough time for 2 more attempts. That's what they need, especially Kraken. He's currently on his way for this third attempt on a quick lap. What's the first sector going to be? 26.7. It's about as quick as Benjamin Webb. And he invalidates again. There you are, see? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I just going crazy? He's invalidating at literally exactly the same point every single time. What is going on with Kraken? Please tell me in the chat that you guys are seeing the same thing. Or is he just going too wide there? Let's actually join Kraken on board for the next run. Is he gonna go for another run of this set? He is. Yeah, see, I just lost it. Well, he technically lost it 3 times in a row. Oh well. I mean, there's so much to watch out for, all the lap times, and the camera point of views don't always really show you how wide a driver goes, even though I've got a massive screen in front of me. So let's see if he can keep it within the white lines now. First sector, and you can already see 26.8. And he keeps it within the white lines. We join him on board and we jinx him in the positive way. Kraken is gonna go now for a lap time. Sliding through the chicane might not be ideal. These tires might be at boiling point pretty much. And he goes round. Too much temperature, I'm afraid, in the rears, and too much wear. That combination really doesn't help. And MGA Kraken is still without the lap time. So let's swap our attention to Benjamin, who's invalidated. Then we are going to swap our attention to Kurumi. And we're going to have to keep an eye on Kynix as well, who was really, really careful in his first attempt. Would like to see what Kurumi is going to do in the final 2 corners. Will he find a big improvement? So far, QRT is not doing that bad, but they are slower than SKG on average, and that is not good news. Now that's a bit better for Kurumi. Takui as well. 14.537 now, with Herman Polyakov up next. That's a strong improvement there. 40.78. Well, actually, never mind. Their average is going to be a 14.748 right now. Ooh, Kynix nearly loses it on the pit entry there. Not ideal. Jonas Orpel still just behind his teammates on a hot lap, I think, as we speak. Indeed. Aston Martin moving out of the way. Don't think there was any impeding there. 25 milliseconds faster. Is there any other driver that is going to slot into the 1 minute 13s? We'll find out. As we speak, they're a bit too far away. 3/10, too slow. 4/10 even. As Nick Arrow did a 1 minute 13.889. So 3.5 pretty much. On the board for Marius Ioanu if he wants to be the fastest of the qualifying night so far. Well over a 10th quicker there for Jonas Orpel. Looking strong and looking to take IRT second place on the list. Ooh, that's not a good corner there. And he gives it up immediately. No surprises. That was not a great corner for Jonas Orpel. And now everybody has come in and gets ready for their final runs. Ooh, what was going on there then? I think Marius went out right ahead of Jonas Orpel. And Jonas is... You had to brake like mad there. Even went into glitching mode. Marius Ioanu went out. Jonas Orpel comes straight back in. But I think he'll have plenty of time for another run. There's well over 3 minutes remaining still. And this is a short track. You can even go out with 2 minutes remaining. But I do not know whether Jonas still has a fresh set of softs left. We'll find out. If he retires now, that means it's over for him. And Marius, so far, the fastest in Lobby 3. In terms of lap times seen overall, he is currently sitting in P5. Is single driver lap times. P5 of all the lap times so far in the first 3 lobbies for Marius. And that is a good sign for ET8. Look at that. Jonas Orpel indeed does get out again quickly. And Kraken has got serious pressure on his shoulders now. He's failed 3 lap times by invalidating. He's failed a 4th attempt with spinning out. And now he got one more chance. He saved a fresh set of tires, thankfully, for this run. If he doesn't do it now, he will get a default lap time of 1 minute 22. And that means MGA are definitely out. As we speak, it's not looking good for them. Kynex got the slowest lap time on the board as we speak. 16.3 is 3/10 of the second slowest time. So that's bad news for them. Kraken then, last chance, or perhaps second to last chance. Ideally, this would be the lap time to do it. If he has to go again, those tires might already be subpar again, like on his previous run. Kraken now in turn 2, and turn 3 straight away after it. What's the first sector gonna be? 26.8. That's not the fastest he's done so far. I think he might be a bit nervous. He might be sweating hard now, but at least he hasn't invalidated in his least favorite corner of the track. Through the chicane he goes, doesn't launch the car. So far so good then for Kraken. Marius Ioanu on his way as well. He's a bit further ahead. He's encountering traffic with 2/10 quicker in the middle sector. What's his lap time going to be? Will he go to the 1 minute 13s? He misses out on that one. 14.150 is definitely a very strong lap here in qualifying night. The 3rd lap time of the night. And, ooh, Kynex has invalidated. That's not good. Kraken, though, is going to post a lap time. That's a lot better than his teammate. But I think Kynex is not going to get another chance now. It's definitely not going to happen for MGA then. They will not qualify for CSS Season 7. Kynex will not be able to get back in time as Jonas, I'm afraid, has spun out. Will not improve either, but I think the average will be more than enough to qualify, unless the final 5 teams will all be a lot quicker than that. I think ET8 is safe. As Jonas cuts the corner, or actually that was Marius cutting the corner there. I'm not sure if that's allowed. I hope for his sake that it is. And now the biggest story, of course, is Takui and Benjamin Webb for FRT. They've got a penalty on their hands. Benjamin has invalidated. He's gonna cross the line either way, and Takubi needs to find a lot more. What's the average going to be then for FRT? As Maxime goes across the line, he improves by a tiny bit. And whether this is good enough to qualify for FRT remains to be seen. The nail-biting begins for them. Herman Polyakov, I believe, is still on his way. Kraken has finished his lap, so we're swapping back our attention to this man. 14.7 to beat. He wants to be much quicker than that, otherwise they'll be on the brink of not making it. It's a tenth faster, but that's an average of 14.68. Or 16.69 perhaps even. We'll find out. These are the lap times that they stand. ETA take the 1-2 in this lobby. FRT third and fourth, then QRT and then MGA. And I can say for certain that MGA will not make the cut. I can already see the averages being updated. And of course MGA, don't forget, will have that penalty as well. And you can see there, FRT confirmed out. I as a commentator could announce such things, but there we are. Here it is. There's 14 teams having qualified themselves now. And FRT, I think mostly thanks to the penalty, will not qualify. Their average would have been about a minute 14.5 something. But now it's a 14.793, and that is not good enough. Such a shame. As it stands then, FER lead from ET8, IRT, TRT. That's the top four. Then SET in P5, OMB 6th, AMS in 7th, VRM in 8th, QRT in 9th, and SKG is now on the brink of not making it. They're still in 10th place, thanks to FRT's penalty. Had they not had that penalty, they would have qualified for the time being. And they would have been in P7. Yep, P7. That's a big problem. The vice champions are out. They're currently 11th, so the first reserve. So there's at least some hope there. We haven't had a season yet, or at least we haven't had a season that I've been in as a commentator, that all 10 teams made it from start to end. So don't lose hope just yet, FRT. You might still be in after all. Soon we'll be heading to the final lobby with 5 more teams to go. And those 5 teams, I can tell you, are going to be BRC, aka Bravo Racing Club, an Italian team coming up there. It's AERT, the all-elite racing team. They haven't been able to qualify yet for CSS. They're going to have to hope for something special this time around. UFRT, aka Ultimate Formula Racing Team. Azure Esports, aka ZR, and then AMR is the 5th and final team in this last lobby. They'll be joining as soon as they possibly can. They've got plenty of time. We'll be starting at 10 p.m. local time, latest 9 p.m. UK time, to get us going for one last time. 10 drivers, 5 teams, 10 cars. The cars are gonna be McLaren for BRC, Mercedes will be for AERT, then UFRT and Red Bull. AZR will be in the Williams, and AMR will be in the Alpine. So then, does give us a little bit of time to talk about some other things I haven't mentioned yet. Let's see how the Discord is doing at the moment. No big drama just yet, apart of course from the penalty for FRT. No incident reports either. So far so clean then. 3 drivers in the lobby. 2 drivers I should say. And I'm going to have to talk about the prize pool, because last season it was 600 euros. This time it's even more. And while we had a driver's prize for the driver the most points last season, we do not have that anymore. It's now all entirely dedicated to the top 5 teams. The team finishing in P5 will receive 30 euros. If you come in 4th, you'll get 65. P3 will get 125 euros. Second place will get 200 euros. And then, of course, the winning team will get a whopping 300 130 euros. Of course, I should also mention that all the 10 teams qualifying for the season will have to pay an entry fee. I believe it was 20 euros or something towards the prize pool, as well as the sponsor money coming in once again by SRC Sim Racing Center and the Grid Finder sponsors, as well as Simulus Clothing, where I have my beautiful CSS shirt from. You might have noticed on the camera that I am not wearing my CSS shirt tonight. It's a bit too cold to wear a shirt now. I'm not having my heater on. I'm having it on as little as possible. Mostly due to the fact that heating a room in the Netherlands, where you don't have a boiler, is extraordinarily expensive. They use something else that's literally translated as city heat. It means that they use the remaining heat from companies in other places to... they store it, and then they can use it to for homes to get hot water and to use the heaters here in my room. So there you are. It's still, though, 18 degrees Celsius at the moment in my room, but it's freezing at the moment outside. And with windows being this big, it will cool down a little quicker than I would like. But there's that. Then, of course, the calendar. We haven't told you about the calendar yet. There's no graphics for the calendar yet, so I can only tell you what the calendar is going to be. Of course, qualifying night is indeed Hungary. We'll be on our way in 6 minutes' time with the final 5 teams. Then, in 2 weeks' time, in the weekend of December 6 and 7, we'll be going to Japan for the opening round, followed by Zandvoort, my home race, and Jeddah in the 3rd round of the season. And that is the last week before the big Christmas break. Then in the new year, 2026, we'll carry on with 6 more rounds before the 2nd break week. Round 4 will be in Spain, followed by Baku, Canada, Silverstone in reverse, Qatar, and Singapore in round 9. Now, we already are in February. Then the final break week before we head to another 6 rounds. Yes, this season will have 15 rounds, and we're running it until April. That's mostly due to the fact that there would have been a new game sooner or later by that point, but this time around it's going to be a game upgrade. As the F126 cars, as we all know by now, will be in this game as well. And then F127 will be an all-new game. At least that's what EA is claiming. But for the final 6 rounds, we'll be going to China in round 10, followed by Spa, Mexico, Texas, Monza, and last but certainly not least, Las Vegas for the final round of the season. And by that point, we'll be having crowned a new champion in the longest season yet. 15 rounds. And that is another reason why I'm quite hyped by this season. It's going to be a really good one. And also curious to see whether these 10 initial teams will make it through the season. Hasn't happened yet, as far as I'm aware. And, well, perhaps it will happen this time. It's a bit slow going on the drivers joining. It will allow me for a little bit of a break, so I'll be back with you soon. Right, it is nearly time to go. Already some drama happening for AERT. They will only have one driver. You might have noticed in the timing sheet that AERT have got a 22 at their second driver lap time. That is the default time that I was talking about a bit earlier. The second driver is not joining. So whatever their first driver is going to do, it will not be enough. It's going to be impossible for AERT to qualify now, and they might even be slowest by far on average with this default lap time in. We're also missing one driver for AMR still, and I think they might receive a penalty for that too. He's finally in now, and that means we're gonna have to go immediately, and I can introduce the drivers to you right now. For BRC, we'll have Alessio Di Capua and Ilbara. For ART, we should have had Christian Ehre, but he's not joining, and Mike Talens is gonna try his best. So fair play to him. UFRT will have Pesci and Levi Martins. Then AZR will have Daniel Hope and Neo Steins. And AMR do have Zeteni Gondos and Po Viegas for the AMR team. They will be driving around the Alpine. UFRT will have the Red Bull. Then BRC are in the McLaren, AZR in the Williams. ART, the solo driver of them in the Mercedes. And AMR, as I said, in the Alpine. So there is that. Let's find out what these final 9 drivers are going to do. As far as I'm aware, AMR hasn't received a penalty yet. If it was a penalty, I'm sure it would have been on the timing sheets already. So looks like they get away with their potential late join unless there was some grace period, so to say. Either way, let's see what happens with these drivers. Final lobby, final 5 teams. The cutoff average lap time as we speak is for SKG 14.7225. Any slower than that and you're out. Faster than that and you might just be safe depending on how the other 4 teams will be doing. Let's head to the track right now. Same weather circumstances, of course. Same time of day. All these circumstances have to be exactly equal to make the competition as fair as possible. Let's find out. The poll will be hopefully coming soon. Best team from Lobby 3, 54%, and the end went to ET8. No surprises there. They were by far the quickest. They are now sitting happily in 2nd place on the qualifying sheet. And everybody sitting in the top 5 at the moment are definitely safe. So FVR, ET8, IRT, TRT are all 100% safe. Anybody down from SET might be at risk. Although I seriously doubt it. SET have got a blistering average of a 14.266. OMB AMS might be a small question mark, but I am not sure whether any of these teams are going to be able to beat them all the way down to 11th. ART certainly is not going to do it. So they might be perfectly safe there. VRM, QRT, SKG. Their nail-biting begins, especially for SKG. I'll be keeping you updated on the averages as much as possible. As I said, 14.772 is the lap time they want to beat as much as possible. The next fastest average is by QRT, 14.69. That's only marginally quicker, of course. So it's going to be a scary moment for at least those 2 teams. And up next is VRM. They are quite a lot quicker on average than QRT already. 2/10, over 2/10 quicker. So they should feel a little bit more safe. AMS are a tiny bit quicker than them, 14.4615. And then OMB with a 14.3975. They're definitely on the up since they've joined here in CSS. It's looking stronger and better for them every day. Daniel Hope for AZR, sorry, is on his way as we speak. Apologies for the confusion. AMR were actually in the Williams last season, so there's that. 26.6, that is rapid through Sector 1. Strong effort then for Mr. Hope here. Ooh, that was nearly too much of a corner cut. And he's already pushing, despite this being his banker lap. He's going to try and put his best effort in already. Let's hope that he isn't peaking now. 52.9. through Sector 2. This might be a very quick lap time indeed. Throwing the car through the corners, that has become common practice in this game. And then the final corner to go for Mr. Hope, and then across the line. Right behind him, one of the Alpines for AMR. And Daniel Hope with a 14.4. Good start then for AZR. Po Viegas up next. 14.3, a little bit quicker there than Daniel Hope. And it's Neo Steins up next for AZR as well. A 14.5. Good start there for them. It's Alessio Di Capua, I believe, invalidated his lap. One of the Mercedes. The only Mercedes, of course, of Mike Talon's 15.3. That's not the greatest start for them. And not helpful anyway. Of course, he is all alone as Ilbaura goes quicker by the 15.2. But that's not going to cut it for them, unfortunately. We'll not know the average yet. But I can tell you that the average of AZR at the moment will have them a 15.450. Slotting them into the position that QRT have right now. P9. As a close call for them. P9 at the moment for AZR. But of course, it's only banker laps. So we cannot say too much about that just yet. I wonder if Alessio is on a second run. He is. Maybe he's done 2 out laps. Whoa! Oh, that car looked mightily unstable there. Is he going to finish this lap time? He's getting chased down with the Williams. Bit of psychological warfare there going on. And Alessio will be going across the line quite slowly there. 1 minute 17, 18. 18.7. Might as well have finished that lap a bit quicker, because imagine that this is going to be the only lap time he posts. Then BRC will definitely not qualify. The quickest team for Lobby 4 so far, AMR leads with 58% of the votes, followed by AZR with 33%. On average right now, AZR is quickest. Mostly because Zeteni hasn't set a lap time yet. His teammate Po Viegas is the quickest. But in terms of overall lap times, nowhere near the quickest time of the night. But then again, banker lap. So yeah. We'll wait a bit longer than that. UFRT haven't got a lap time on the board at all. Let's hope we'll see something from them soon. Levi Martins and Pesci both on an outlap at the moment. Let's follow them around for a little bit. We've got some benchmarks to compare them to. Give us a bit of an idea of what we can expect from them. We haven't seen them in CSS yet. And we also said that about AERT. They failed to qualify quite a few times now. And this time it's simply due to their second driver not showing up. But then again, Mike Talon's lap time isn't anything to write home about either, to be honest. But you have to give it to Mike. He at least is out there for the team. He had some really choice words for them in the Discord as well. Yeah, they had translated that one because it was in Dutch. Not sure they would have been very appreciative of it. Levi Martins then started his hot lap. Pesci following suit. UFRT have got to get something on the board, and we'll soon know whether the lap times are worth it for a top 10 spot. Of course, the top spot in the top 10 is already taken by VNT. And Levi Martins is going to slot a 26.8 in the first sector. Not bad, but not the fastest either. I think he's about 2 or 3 tenths off already of any quick lap time, so to say. Don't think Nick Arrow's time is going to be touched tonight or overtaken. Nobody else has been able to do a 1 minute 13. And I think VNT will have a strong rival in FVR. Levi Martins, second sector, 53.1. Quite a ways off now from Daniel's lap time. This might potentially be by 1 minute 15, which will not be good enough. Average needs to be quicker. than QRT now. At this point, SKG is already out, with AZR's average being better. And Levi Martins, well, fair play, 14.8, not too bad. Pesci, 53.0 in the middle sector, a bit quicker than Levi was. Across the line, 14.6. It's not good enough yet for UFRT. But there's still perhaps 2 more runs coming in. Daniel Hope, a bit quicker through the middle sector, but not by much. What's it gonna be here? A tiny improvement, half a tenth. Lowers the average a tiny bit. Puts them a bit safer for a spot on the grid for this season. But we're waiting for AMR second driver, Zeteni, to find his improvement. Let's follow Ilbara and Alessio around. Alessio, of course, having bodged his first lap time. Gonna have to find something more now. He's currently chasing down Daniel Hope, who has improved already. First sector for Alessio, 26.7. Not bad, not bad. Fairly decent. A bit quicker than Levi was in Sector 1, so he might be finding himself at a 1 minute 14.6 as he throws his car through the chicane. Oh, Zeteni's wheel is currently broken. Oof. That might potentially be painful for AMR. He might not be the one doing their lap. Yeah, but who else is going to? Is this going to be an emergency situation where they bring in another driver? A 10th quicker for Alessio in Sector 2. And he didn't have the big moment. So this time, the lap is certainly going to be a whole lot better. Thankfully for him. He hasn't invalidated it. Across the line, Alessio for BRC. Look at that! Out of the magic hat, pulls Alessio Di Capua. A huge lap. 14.2, and now he's the fastest of the lot. Might BRC then be the surprise? Ilbara will have to do a lot more though. A 14.9 and a 14.2 on average is going to a 14.6. Which might just be enough, but Ilbara will have to find a lot more time. SKG is out. QRT are on the brink of falling out. They are very close to BRC's average lap time. I cannot tell you the exact average. I think it's a 6.2. And QRT is a 6.9. It's actually being filled in from here. Actually, their average is a 14.57. And that would put them ahead of QRT. That means BRC, as we stand, just barely qualifies. We'll have to wait a bit longer, though. I'm happy to see that Ace is filling it in live as we speak. It helps me a big time. Because the spreadsheets can do a math a lot quicker than I can. So yeah, as it stands, BRC and AZR are doing quite nicely. AZR will be qualifying just behind VRM. That means VRM is being pushed down to... oh, there we are. It's being sorted now. Let's see. Yeah, QRT is just barely making it. AZR is on the brink. BRC is just out of it. Just out of it. They're missing a tiny bit of lap time. AZR is now in the final qualifying position, but AMR have yet to post a second lap time. They're getting defaulted with their second driver at the moment because their wheel's broken. That will spell trouble for AMR. Paul Villegas is doing absolutely everything correctly, and he's just posted an extraordinary lap time, the second fastest of the night. At least brings them some hope. But Zeteni is still not out, his wheel's still broken, and AMR might go out due to sheer bad luck. That would be an awful shame. Paul Villegas 14.0. As I said, second fastest time of the night. He's only the second driver to go below the 1 minute 14.1. But Zeteni needs to get it fixed. Otherwise it's over for AMR. They're now second to last in the entire list. Only above AERT. I'm not sure if Mike Tallis is going to come out anymore. He might have just as well given up. Levi Martins with a big improvement in the second sector. UFRT currently not in it. They are 14th. Or 13th, I should say. But he does improve quite nicely. 14.484, but he needs his teammate to do better now. Ilbada, a lot of relies on him as well to make the cut. They might push AZR out. It's a battle between AZR and BRC in the same lobby for this last position. UFRT might have just slotted into the battle as well with the average. They have now overtaken BRC on average. They are now 11th. BRC pushed down to P12. Ilbada. There's big pressure on his shoulders. 4 minutes remain through the chicane. Not good enough. Pushed a bit too hard there. Alessio is going to try and improve even more. Oh, and there he goes. Too much pushing still. I feel like he should just abandon this lap. Go in and straight back out with a fresh set of tires. He's already way over half a second slower now. This should be the end of that lap. Get back in and try again immediately. Daniel Hope has improved to a 1 minute 14.1. AZR average is getting better now. They are well within the top 10. Now it's VRM on the brink of being pushed out, despite Jeremy Galanier's brilliant lap time. Jordan Mopti had ruined it in the final attempt, and his 14.7 might be the final nail in their coffin. The only nail in the coffin they need, unfortunately. So now it's a nail-biting time for VRM. And now the averages are being wiped clean. And now, we'll wait and see. 3 minutes remain for these teams. 3 minutes remain for Zetani to do something and get out and get a lap time in and fix his wheel. Time is ticking away. AMR will not qualify as we speak. Paul Villegas, he cannot be blamed. Zetani, he cannot be blamed either. A broken wheel is not something you can do much about. Paul Villegas, though, really quick. He could potentially try and challenge Nick Arrow's lap time as the fastest of the night. Such a shame that the fastest driver potentially might be in a team that will not qualify due to bad luck. Mike Talents, a round of applause for him, is gonna try it one more time. They will not qualify no matter what, but he will try it anyway. Zetani, if he doesn't come out now, AMR will not qualify. And it looks like it's the end of the story for AMR. They were looking good last season, getting ever better, had a 1-2 in Canada. We will not see them on the grid. And they will be far down in the list of reserve teams, which is a huge shame. By no fault of their own. And Paul Villegas is going to give it one more time. Give it everything. The best honor they can gain now is the quickest lap time of the night. That's probably what he's going to aim for. He needs just over 0.2 of a second to do it. Let's follow him around. He's the only driver on a hot lap, so why not? Paul Villegas, let's join him on board now. Traffic is still far away for him. Not sure if that corner was ideal for him. What's the first sector gonna look like? 26.5, 3 milliseconds off his own lap time now. What more can he find? As much as he can find, it will not be good enough. Through the second sector, it's looking strong and stable. You can only have a lot of respect for his efforts. But his team will be looking on with big sadness, disappointment. As they will not qualify. 42 milliseconds quicker in Sector 2. One more corner to go as the two cars ahead of them. Of him will start the hot lap now. And Paul Villegas, a 14.06. Second fastest of all night is the prize that they will take home. Up next, Mike Talens, a little bit quicker in Sector 1. Nicely quicker in Sector 2. Can he try and beat Ilbara to the line? Mike Talens for AERT. They will not qualify either, as Mike is alone. But he's going to try either way. At 15.3, wouldn't have been good enough anyways. No matter what his teammates would have done, and into the wall he goes on the final corner, and that's qualifying over. And already the season over for AERT as well. Up next is Neo across the line, doesn't improve. Then Alessio Di Capua hasn't improved. Will stay third fastest, so the pressure is now all on Ilbara. Pesci up next to cross the line. What will he find? It was a 14.6, now 14.5. UFRT might just make it. Daniel's given up, and so have the other drivers except for Ilbara. What can he do for BRC? Will they qualify? He improves by a tiny bit. I don't think that will be enough. That will not be enough to qualify in the top 10. We'll find out in a moment, as the lap times are getting filled in now on the sheet. And in a very few seconds, I can tell you which teams will have qualified. Such a shame for AMR. They've gotten the penalty for the late join. But it doesn't matter anyway. The default will be filled in. Actually, it's being left open as we speak. You can see it happening live right here. AMR. Well, technically, they are on top. That shouldn't be right, of course. FVR is the winner of qualifying night. ET8 will be second, then IRT in third, TRT in fourth, SET P5, then AZR in P6, OMB 7th, AMS P8, VRM P9. And BRT will not be making it, or sorry, UFRT I should say, are just not good enough, are they? Well, this is strange. Some things are going wrong. Never mind, they are correct. UFRT are just out of it. Just out of it. So, I'm not sure what's going on with AMS. It looks like they might get a rerun. Or sorry, AMR, I should say. But they will have that penalty, so I'm not sure if it matters. That's a bit of a question mark now. I'm just waiting for any confirmation from our directors whether AMR will get another shot. And that shot might just happen out of away from a live stream. We're about to get the answer, I think. We can currently see Ace typing in the Discord. Tensions are high. All right. David Martinez will be going in for AMR. It's the final chance for AMR to qualify. They will need an average of a 14.46. It's a bit quicker than VRM. This will be important for VRM. They will probably not be too happy about this, but I think it's only fair. I mean, a broken wheel is not something you can do about anything about. So, the teams that will definitely not qualify: AERT, MGA, FRE, Nero, FRT, SKG, QRT, and BRC are all out. Same goes for UFRT. And now it's between AMR and VRM, whether it will happen or not. And that one will not be streamed. However, unless you guys want me to stream it. Actually, I'll let you guys decide. Let me know in the chat whether you want to see David Martinez try and get AMR. Let's see if David Martinez can get AMR into the competition and kick VRM out of it. And I think David Martinez will have to join quickly, otherwise it's still game over. I'm currently sitting in the lobby where David is supposed to be. I'm not sure how many attempts he's going to get. Is he going to get a full 18 minutes? I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Or maybe a one-shot. It looks like short qualifying is currently on. If I am streaming it, I will not be commentating on it. You guys will have to watch that one for yourself and see what happens. Because commentating on one single driver is stretching it to breaking point for me, really. He has the lobby to himself, indeed. So David Martinez will get 18 minutes all by himself to qualify AMR into the top 10. But he shouldn't take too long. I can do it. Oh, you got a lot of faith in me there, Christian. I appreciate it, though. He's now being tagged into Discord. I'm not sure how long they're going to give him. Trying to see whether he is actually online. Oh, he's not. He isn't even online. That's not going to help, is it? A 14.378 or lower. That's some nice math there. To qualify indeed. As you can see now on the timesheet. That will put them in the season by 5... Well, I'm not sure what comes after 1,000th of a second. A 10,000th of a second. Half a millisecond quicker on average if he does that lap time. I think they're going to give David until half past. So that's in about 2 minutes. And otherwise AMR is out. They've been given the chance. And if it doesn't happen now, it's over. So that's the countdown that is happening now. 1.5 minutes, I think, remains for him to join. He's still not there. A 14.379 would even be enough due to the faster lap. All right, interesting. Anywhere slower. And they're out. All right, that's the information you guys need to keep in mind. He's joined. It's time to get going. There we are. I think this is a first in League Racing history that will be streaming a single person driving. And keep in mind what has been said in the chat. 14.378. That is the benchmark that David Martinez needs. There he is, all by himself. And he'll get the full and undivided attention by all of us. It happened... Okay, it happened in... okay. Fair enough. Alone a solo rerun. To be fair, though, we've had a rerun in CSS as well, but that wasn't with one driver, but with multiple, due to some issues, I believe. But that was, for some reason, controversial. I'm not sure why or how it happened. What the reason was, people disagreed. So yeah, it's not unique for CSS either. It's just unique for CSS that it is going to be one driver. And, well, if you guys want it to be streamed, I'll be happy to stream it for you. There's just not going to be a lot to talk about here in this solo lobby. David is just going to wait for the track to get a bit quicker. He is alone, so I'm not sure if evolution is going to be a big thing. So he's the only driver that's going to be rubbering the track in, but I'm not sure how big of a thing that is in this game. I know it exists, but I'm not sure what it's dependent on, whether it's time progression or The amount of tires scraping across the asphalt. I'm not too knowledgeable on the technical details of the game, unfortunately. As David is now on an outlap for the first time. It's not a one-shot, Jeremy. It's going to be a full shot qualifying. And I think that's only fair. I mean, AMR had the issue of the broken steering wheel. And I think that's one of the few valid reasons for a rerun. But I do have a penalty for the late join of Zeteni. So they already are on the back foot. Well, Jeremy, don't give up hope yet. If you scroll up a little bit, you can see the lap time that David needs. A 14.378 at the very least. I'm not sure whether the wheel broke before or during. I mean, I know Zeteni joined late. Might be because of that. He did ask in the lobby to invite him, even though it was said that they should join off the host's profile. So it might have broken during qualifying, just before lobby, but he joined to save time. That's fair enough. Sector 1 is crucial. 26.6 is rapid. 26.7 is decent. Anywhere below that will not be good enough. 26.8. Well, it's only a banker lap, let's be fair. He needs a proper lap time. 14.378. 14.379 is also good enough. Well, that 1 millisecond, though, won't really matter to him. But judging by Paul Vegas' time, there should be some hope for AMR yet. Being stable through Sector 2, 53.5. That's not quick. That is really not quick. Unless I'm gravely mistaken here. I believe I've seen plenty of 52s. David Martinez then. Off he goes. 14.9. That is way off the lap time he should have. He needs to find more than 0.6 of a second. And as A says, a 0.378 will beat VRM by 0.0005 seconds. Half a millisecond. $14.956 though isn't the most promising start you want to have. And to show you the sheet as it stands, not updated yet. It still shows you the lap time that AMR needs to qualify just ahead of VRM. They're now on top of the table because it hasn't been sorted yet. You can see it right there. 40.378 is what this man needs. If it were to be this lap time, where would they qualify? 14.956. The lap time has just disappeared. Maybe this lap time will be filled in now. I think as we speak, that would make them into P, well, just ahead of FRT perhaps. Yeah, it will definitely be ahead of FRT. But there's still 2 opportunities at least for David Martinez to improve here. And the penalty has been given officially for a late lineup change, I think. I thought it was a penalty for joining late. As Zeteni technically joined past the 9 o'clock mark. Off he goes again, David Martinez. Pressure getting higher and higher. Beautiful view of the pit lane, and there he is, finally. In the meanwhile, some discussion going on about a penalty. I mean, discuss it all you like. It's not going to change, I'm afraid. Let's swap back to the game, so you guys can actually see what's happening. David Martinez on his way for his second attempt. Needs to find 6.2 tenths of a second, 62 100ths of a second, to be quicker than VRM on average, including the penalty. If that happens, AMR can pat him on the back, throw a party. If not, then VRM can throw the party. Off we go then, the second time. Will this be the charm, or will it be the famous third time's the charm later down the line? He's got over 10 minutes remaining. He can make some mistakes if he wants. Through turn 2. And off to the end of the first sector. What's the lap time going to be? 8:26.6. That is quite decent, actually. Within the second sector is where he was really slow compared to the rest. This is where he needs to throw his car around the corners. But he isn't just pushing too hard yet this time either. What happened then in the end of the second sector? If we can see 6 tenths on the board. Oh, it's getting close. 4.5 tenths up. 2 more tenths. And it will be good enough. If he can even do it on the second run, he might as well not do his final run. The 14.378 is the magic time he needs. On to the main straight he goes. Is it gonna be enough? It's close. Much closer this time. He needs 1/10 of a second. And AMR qualifies. 1/10 will be enough. 14.379. The banker lap was a 14.9, which wasn't a great banker lap compared to the rest, but this time he's gotten his team much closer to qualifying. As we speak, they'll be qualifying 11th, just away from VRM. Around the lap time, the average lap time of UFRT, 3:79 or quicker. He will get, he's got enough time for 2 chances, but he has got 1 set of fresh tires. So what is he gonna do? Is he gonna wait until the track is at its peak to do it? With maximum pressure, maximum sweat on his hands. I hope he's wearing gloves. And then we'll know whether AMR can return to CSS in this season. As I said, they had a 1-2 in Canada, which was definitely their strongest result of the season, and a brilliant race with it as well. I loved watching that one. They were on top of it, and they are definitely showing that they can challenge for something big. They just need a bit more consistency through the season. Right now, though, it's starting to look a little bit better, but it's not good enough yet. David Martinez with a 14.471. They need 98. No, am I saying that correctly? No. 91. I already got lost from math. Never mind, I can't even do it anymore. My math brain is dead by this point. It's already nearly 11 p.m, so forgive me for that one. And there he goes. David Martinez goes out immediately. Sends 7 minutes remaining in his final set of soft tires. Let's have a look actually whether these are fresh ones or not. We might be able to see it even if they only have 3 laps under their belt if they're not. I'm not sure if these are fresh tires. It's difficult to say. If he messes this one up, he'll have time for one more attempt, but I do not know. Again, whether this is the last set of fresh tires he has available. If he is exactly a 10th quicker, it will be more than good enough. He will get 371. There will be 8 milliseconds to spare. 91 milliseconds is what he needs. 91 milliseconds. Isn't it 4 sets of softs? I thought it was 3. But I might be wrong. So I think it's 3 in this game. Maybe it isn't. Off he goes. In perhaps his last chance. 91 milliseconds quicker than his lap time will seal it. Might not be an ideal turn 1 there. But he's definitely pushing hard as he possibly can. Turn 2. Looking strong. Turn 3. Onwards to the end of the first sector. What has he done here? It's slower by a 10th. Perhaps some magic then in sector 2. Heartbeats are raising for himself and his teammates watching on. Through the chicane once again. Looking stable. A bit of grass on the right front. A tiny bit of loss of grip there. Didn't impact him. Not too wide here. Sector 2. It's nearly good enough. 66 milliseconds. 30 more will do it. 2 corners to go. Who would have thought that watching one guy qualify could be this exciting? Final corner. 91 milliseconds is what he needs. 91 milliseconds. It's 45. Not yet. He's lost some time in the 3rd sector, and I feel like that 10th in the 1st sector, that was the killer. He was massively quicker in the 2nd sector than his previous attempt. He will have time for 1 more lap, but whether he has the tires remaining to do so remains to be seen. Genevieve praying for him to invalid the last one. That's rude. But yeah, I can imagine. I mean, VRM is now on the brink of falling out. Dropping out, I should say. Because of this man alone. Paul Villegas is posted 14.066. AMR's got a 0.5 second penalty to add to their average. That means he doesn't need, indeed still need that magic 14.379. He's so close to it. He needs 46 milliseconds now. 46. 3 minutes remain in this last ever short qualifying session of Season 7's qualifying night for just David Martinez. In he goes. If he's used all 3 sets of tires, he'll try to find the freshest one. But I hope for his sake that he's got 1 more set remaining. I can't believe 42 people are actually watching one driver with me. Props to you all. And now the poll is up. Will he get his 14.379? Let us know, yes or no. This is so much pressure. Absolutely, Bard. This might be the most pressure a driver has ever felt. Apart from a championship drive. This is just to qualify, remember. Don't jinx it, Daniel. Don't worry about your team. AZR is definitely safe. They were on the brink halfway through your run. But they've safely qualified, currently in 7th of the qualified teams. P8, that is, on the sheet, with VNT included. Off he goes for 1 final time. Looks like this might actually be a fresh set of tires as well. Difficult to say. 3 laps do not make a much difference in the looks of the tire. The visual wear is not that visible. 1.5 minutes remains. As long as he makes it to the line in time, he will at least try and get the lap in. He messed up turn 1, cost him 1/10 of a second. If he can get that 1/10 of a second back and keep it in the second and third sector, it will be enough. Curb zone is calling. Don't say it. We'll soon know. He's got plenty of time to start his lap. What's he gonna do now? Is he gonna take it easy? Or does he keep pushing? It looks like to me he's pushing quite hard on his outlap. Not sure if that's helpful to his tires, but he's gonna do it nonetheless. Off he goes. DRS open. Last chance. AMR in or out. VRM in or out. VRM's presence depends on this lap. Same goes for AMR. They're currently not in. VRM are still in. 1/10 he lost in the previous attempt in the first sector. This time it looks a lot better. I wonder how nervous this man is. First sector. A tiny bit quicker. He needs 46 milliseconds. Remember, it's 24 now. It's still not good enough. But there's still 2 sectors to go. Last time through the chicane. Throwing his car. Bouncing. But it's the best line he can get. It's still looking stable. Even I'm getting nervous now. Even my heartbeat is racing. I rarely have that in qualifying, and he goes round! He goes round! It's over for AMR! He will be bitterly disappointed. He misses out by 46 milliseconds. It was an improvement in the first sector. We will never know whether it was good enough. And I can only say, indeed, like the rest in the chat, poor guy, poor man. So much pressure on his shoulders. It was a mistake waiting to happen. Whew. That might have been the most exciting qualifying with one person I've ever seen. A moment of silence for David Martinez and AMR. They are out. They will not qualify for this season. But their good hope is that one of the top 10 teams will drop out, which has always happened. So perhaps a bit later we'll see them again. For now, though, I can show you the standings, the final standings, because I haven't seen any incident report. So I'm sure that this is the final result as well. Penalties included. The 10 qualified teams are as follows. VNT through out of qualification as the winners of last season. Second place for FVR, followed by ET8, IRT, TRT, SET, AZR, ONB, AMS, and VRM just barely makes it in by 2/100ths of a second or 15 milliseconds on average away from AMR. Then AMR is the first reserve, followed by UFRT and BRC. Curity, SKG, FRT, Nero, Every, MGA, and ART will not be making it in this season either. But Daniel Martinez, I don't think he needs to be ashamed of anything. He's done all he can to help the team to the qualification. The penalty is not his fault. So I don't think you can blame him. It's just well done to AMR's David Martinez. And there's that. Qualifying night over. FVR is the winner. They also have the quickest lap time. The second quickest lap time belongs to AMR. The third quickest lap time, I think, if my eyes are correct, is for IRT. So I think FVR, ET8 and IRT might be the teams to watch for VNT. And perhaps TRT can do something as well. We'll find out in 2 weeks' time when we're headed to the first round of the season in Japan. Thank you so much for joining me and sticking with me through all of these qualification sessions. And I'll see you then in Japan. 2 weeks' time. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. See you in 2 weeks. Same place, same time. Until then, goodbye.